Hello, everybody, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of the Challenge USA. We're going to be talking all things first episode of the Challenge USA. Give our first impressions of, I was about to say house guests, but I guess I could also say castaways or Love Island people. What do they call Amazing Race people?
Amazing Racers.
Okay, all right, cool. We have so many people to talk about and everything, and then I think we'll wrap up tonight by just putting a little bow tie on the Challenge All Stars 3, our thoughts on the finale and stuff like that. Jackie will be joining us in a few minutes, but we're here to kind of get the ball rolling. So I have so many thoughts from this first episode. I will say much better than Big Brother 24 premiere. Like if I had to pick one show to watch on Wednesday night, the Challenge USA was so much better, Andrew.
It was so good. And, I've been saying that they should do this for years. I've been saying that they should do something similar because the pre-existing relationships and this stuff run way deeper than the challenge itself. If the challenge is the same concept, right? It's the whole process of people that have continuously played against each other are doing it, but that's gotten so waterlogged with the same people. And you have such this great pool of people to be able to pick from. And I will say, when I was coming into this, I was like, all right, Big Brother, heck yeah. Survivor, heck yeah. Okay, Amazing Race. Love Island, really? They cast those Love Island people so perfectly and so well. And they brought us, from Shannon just being very messy from the beginning with her conversation with Alyssa to the Kira Cashel situation, right? It's so good as to how they cast this thing and what thought went into it. And I was very, very impressed. It had me hooked from the first second until TJ pulls out the algorithm or whatever he ended up calling it at the end. I was just hooked the entire time.
You know who cast Love Island, Andrew?
Robin Casting.
Robin Cast. Yeah, exactly. So it just blows my mind that we get these really great cast members from Love Island, and then we're stuck with potty talk for Big Brother, literally. But no, I totally agree. Of course, we're all excited to see Survivor and Big Brother people, but the Love Island cast is bringing it already. I watched the first 2 seasons and then the beginning of the 3rd season, so I kind of know the people that are in here from Love Island. I watched it a lot more casually than something like Big Brother or Survivor, of course. But the people that they did pick for the Challenge USA from Love Island, I think are exactly the right people.
Beautiful. It's so good. They did it so well.
Yeah, and I of course it's very easy for Big Brother people to want to stick with Big Brother people, Survivor people with it just staying within your family, your hub, if you will. But I feel how this game is set up, the individual bank accounts, I think incentivize people to if you're Kyland and you see that Xavier has a pretty big bank account from winning a lot of eliminations, I think you might be incentivized to maybe go after him, right?
And what makes that so interesting is the constant changing partners, right? And so I'm assuming that if you take out a partnership, it would be the total divided by 2 and not you're taking the guy's bank and the girl's taking the girl's bank, correct?
I think it might be. Yeah, that's a good question. I would guess so, yeah.
Because then there's going to be controversy. Okay, well, why would we go for this pair when the guy has 5,000, so that helps you, but the girl only has 500, so it doesn't help me at all. So there's some interesting concepts with that, and I think JB is here.
There she is. Hello.
But I love that concept of now, even though they're threatening and challenge beasts, if I want to make this final, I've got to get the money in there. I've got to get the stuff in there, and so it really brings that around. So I think you're right. The way the individual game sets, they kind of started the set to their seasons, and that's kind of why the pick happened the way it did, right, for this elimination. But that's obviously going to continue to change and continuously change because of this algorithm. I had talked to JB last night, and she was like, I haven't seen the twist yet. And I was like, oh, wait. So I want to know her initial reaction when he pulled out that machine.
I like it. I'm not going to lie. I love it. It reminded me of something. I don't remember. It reminds me of the finals. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of every final that has happened in the last like several challenges. Like every round is different. So now you have to play well with others. I love it. I love it.
And so correct me if I'm wrong, but like once you are partnered with somebody, that's like taken out of the algorithm, right? So like, for example, like Angela and Tyson can't be partnered together, right?
And they can only if there's no other possible partner scenarios available.
Right, of course.
Then they could come
back.
up again. And then you just can't be it back to back. But this also creates, some great opportunities of. Could you imagine, like, we know from just little spoilers and things, like Alyssa and Xavier get into it at some point this season. And could you imagine them, like, both surviving and then being partners the next round? Because the algorithm picks the partnership, not them. So I'm hoping we get that at some point.
I'm hoping for that too. And I'm really, like, this stuff, like, the producers are definitely thinking, like, they're worrying about, like, oh, is Big Brother people going to stick together? Survivor people staying together? Golden Girls sticking together. But this like really forces everybody to like really mingle with one another, and even like how the house is set up with like all of those bunk beds just like in a row instead of like a Big Brother room, right? Like even stuff like that is really just forcing all of these different dynamics to come together and shape up within the game. And we saw so much of that in just the first episode here. So I love it. I'm really really excited. It was a very, very good start to the premiere, and we do have some drama already. I think Caitlin Weaver in the chat said there's some Big Brother 23 drama, which we'll definitely talk about because of course that's going to happen with this crew. But so basically the whole thing is like Alyssa and Derek X, like. They were not involved in the cookout last year, so like this time they don't really trust like Azza and Kyla and Xavier and Tiffany, and they're like, should we work with them this season or should we explore other options? And I've just seen a lot of like hate on Twitter for Alyssa and Derek X for not really wanting to work with them and not trusting them. But I think it's very important to say like. It is no disrespect to like the movement that was the cookout last year and the cause that was that last year, and still say like, listen, like I didn't even have a chance last year. Like I was like totally exiled out of like any opportunity to move forward. So I'm going to shoot my shot this year and work with some other people. I think that's totally fair to say. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me for trusting you again. I think it's fine to not want to work with people that have screwed you over. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Jackie B. What's your thoughts?
First off, I was so shocked that Alyssa was as bitter as she was. I mean, we can't call it bitterness, okay? This is not like the bitter jury situation. She did get played really bad. And she was completely oblivious to it. But Derek knew, Derek started to kind of connect the pieces during his season. He was like, you know what? They're all POC. We're all POC. Wait a minute. He started to connect the dots. And so I thought that he would be a little bit more forgiving. I was totally blown away by Alyssa. Like, I'm here for revenge. I'm interested to see how that revenge is going to play out when she realizes that she's on the right side of the numbers for the first chunk of this challenge, as far as keeping her out of elimination. I'm interested in seeing how upset she's going to remain as Big Brother and Survivor are the two biggest houses within the camp, I think over time, especially if we get her paired up with X again, I think it'll fizzle out. It may run its course. It might not be full season material.
Here's the problem, and I would say the only problem in the casting of this is because you have so many people from BB23, and because that season is still so fresh, right? That makes me, as Jackie B is very much on Team Survivor, it makes me lean Team Survivor more than Big Brother, just because Team Survivor is more cohesive, right? This drama that exists within them is not as fresh. You had Tyson and Ben on 40, but I mean, whatever. There's nothing happened there, right? But because this stuff is so fresh, I do think that turn is going to be more imminent on the Big Brother side than it is on the Survivor side. And at the end of the day, Survivor's going to be Survivor strong. And I'm normally like very against like these pre-existing relationships to a T, like especially in the challenge. I feel like it's the same people running it, but because of how it's structured this season and it is really show versus show, I don't mind it at all. I wish the Amazing Race had a little more representation. And that's not even from me biased towards Amazing Race because I don't know most of the people that are there, right? But I do wish they had a little more representation in that just to make it a little more even. And I think that's kind of what happened with James, correct? Isn't his name James?
Yeah.
I think that it was just a representation part of that for him. But I do think that's ultimately going to be the disadvantage for Big Brother is I don't think it's going to fizzle out. I think Alyssa is a woman scorned, and you know what they say about a woman scorned, right?
Hell hath no fury, yes. But sorry, go ahead, Jackie.
I was just going to say, James is the Amazing Racer, right? He was the one that was politicking his ass off. Come on, primary elections to keep. He did fabulous. I was like, go ahead, play that game. He did great.
He did so good, and I think that like the Big Brother is definitely like the majority. Like the show with like the most like representation of players and stuff like that. But I think the Survivor players are the real ones to be careful about. Not only because like I think the people that they picked are really like physically strong. Like Sarah Lacina can do like literally anything.
My winner pick.
This woman is like she is like I don't like really like her like as a person and politically and stuff, but like I am so enamored by like how good she is at these games, and I'm really like excited to see how she does just like physically and socially, like in a different format than Survivor. But what I'm like the point I'm trying to make is the Survivor people that they picked are really capable, strong players in like every single aspect of this game. Maybe except for Desi, but like we have like Sarah, we have Tyson, Ben, who I don't like, but like he is a Survivor winner.
You gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, even like Shan is.
Come on, Tasha. Come on, Tasha.
Tasha, yeah, exactly. So like I just like if they are smart, like, and we see this already with like them trying to bring in Angela, pretty successfully, pretty easily. That's how they dismantled that Big Brother alliance and kind of take over.
Oh my gosh, because Angela's gonna eat that up. She's gonna be like, I'm over here with Tyson. I'm having lunch with Sarah. These are this is my people. Forget them BB people. Oh, I can see that. I cannot wait. I welcome her to the Big Brother side. I don't like her as what she played in her game, but as a new Survivor transplant, I'll take her.
I did roll my eyes a little bit though with Angela. Like her first confessional was, she's like, I'm known for being ruthless and stone cold, and that's exactly how I'm gonna play this game. I'm like, really? Like your nickname is literally furniture. Like I don't know how ruthless and stone cold your reputation is, but go off, sis. Whatever.
I'll also say though, if Tyson's true there. And kind of keeps Angela as a number and plays that, like that pair is going to be
very dangerous.
Tough. And like I said in the cast analysis, I said if Tyson survives, I think me and JB said past week 3, he's there till the final.
Yes, and he gave me goosebumps. He was making me feel like, oh, he can make it. He's gonna, and now he has Angela in his pocket. Oh, yes.
I could see Tyson wanting to work with Angela more than Sarah. And Ben, like anybody that they have, and anybody that Tyson has, like, not some beef, but like just some history of not trusting one another from Survivor winners at war. I think Angela is like the perfect like replacement to Pool because she is physically strong. She's not somebody that's going to rock the boat. Like she's not somebody that's going to like stir up. She's just very like. Just kind of like dependable and reliable in a game like this. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to be somebody that's like on the top of that building being like, I'm not doing this. She's not going to pull a Shannon or anything. Yeah. But
I think that goes even a little further, Tyler, in the aspect of was grouped in with that kind of old school Survivor, which he is. And when New School picked him up, and Ben and Sarah, I would say, are in that New School, he's kind of got a point to prove here that like old school Survivor can still play after them getting decimated in Winners at War. So I think Tyson's one of those people that, yes, he wants the money, but and I'll even say Sarah too. But they truly are playing for the win, not the money. They're not. They're playing more to prove that they are who they are than they are to cash that check. And that's what I love about a Survivor player more than a Big Brother player. When a Survivor player does any returnee, they truly are doing it for the win. But I feel like when Big Brother does it, it's more for the publicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So let's talk about some highlights from the first episode, I guess. I just have to like say it once again. Like I love the house for this season so flippin' much. Like it looks so cool. Anybody that like Xavier and Tiffany did a house tour on YouTube, and like it was just cool to see like the whole thing. And I don't know, like I love the gym. I love the like. I haven't watched like modern like regular the challenge, so I feel like this house is more representative of like what modern challenge houses look like. Is that a correct assessment to say? Like it feels like a war room bunker instead of like a mansion.
Usually it's like a hostel kind of, well, in the more recent
that's
season,
a good way
it's like
to put
a hostel. It's like, you know, a glamorized bunk bed rooms, and you know, adults can still hook up on the bunk beds, but they're, you know, it's more these 5 people are in this room, these 6 people are in this room kind of thing.
Yeah. I did also really enjoy Tiffany and Shan connecting right away, because I just feel like that is such a natural and like good fit for both of them. And
I told you, Andrew.
Yeah, and they could really do some damage together too. Like, could you imagine Shan and Tiffany on the same like Big Brother season or something together? Like that would be insane.
I told Andrew last week, Tyler, that if Shan and Tiffany like really connect, I think they can do it. Tiffany is the reason why Shan is in my top 3 of the Survivor winners.
Okay.
Tiffany is Shan's only ticket.
Okay. Wait, can I hear your other top 3s?
It is of course, like I would be a fool if I didn't put my GOAT up there, or everybody's GOAT. I think.
You're about to say Ben.
No, not Ben. Actually, Ben is in my top 5, and I think he could do late game, but I don't think that he'll actually like. I don't think he can do it. I think Tyson can for sure, and I think Sarah can for sure. And the only way Shan will is if Tiffany is there.
Mm. My only concern with Tiffany is like, can she physically do it? You know what I mean? Like Sarah, I can believe. Like I think Sarah could probably beat anybody in a one-on-one elimination round. But Tiffany, I just don't like. I haven't seen like any like physical scrap from her ever in Big Brother. It's all like the game is all up here for her, and she's so masterful at it. Don't get me wrong. But I worry about like once she gets put into the pit, what's gonna happen to her.
So Tiffany would be a better Survivor player.
I think Shan would be a better Big Brother player than Tiffany would be a Survivor player.
Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah.
I will say though, Tiffany looks more in shape than she did last summer.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Maybe she did the same workout plan that Kylan did. Kylan said he was working out. I mean, Kylan looks good, but he said he worked out.
Oh, they're working out together a lot.
I was about to say,
you know what I mean.
Tiffany's like, me and Kylan just have this connection. And I
like Julie.
No, but we just have this natural connection. So I'm cheering for Kylan, and we're just really good friends, but we have this connection.
That was giving me creepy Julie vibes. You're right. I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
I'm telling you, there is like something between Tiffany and Kylan, and I don't know why, but I feel like it's like a one-way street. Like she helps him out, but he just kind of like rolls over after it's done.
Just like in the Big Brother house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Michelle and Wendell.
Wasn't that a handy in the HOH room?
Yeah. I forgot about that, but you're right. Valence is like, Andrew. But there's also like little sprinkles of like just random Big Brother people that I'm curious like how they're going to like mix with these other people. Like where does David Alexander go if anywhere?
Straight out the front door.
Right.
I
But
think-
also Enzo, like where does Enzo go in all of this?
So did you see what Caitlin said in the chat about Enzo? According
Yeah,
to
let
an
me see.
interview Selly did, she said that she tried to kiss Enzo at the bar and he was apparently scared or something.
He's like, nah, man, nah.
I
He
think,
just starts meowing.
yeah.
Oh god.
I think Enzo and David are probably just gonna focus on the game. Just focus on not losing. That's all they can do. Don't be the last.
Yeah. And then what about Derek X? Like, where does he go? I think him and Alyssa really should just like ride or die to the end together as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't trust anybody else if I were either of them.
But they need to pick up that. They need to pick up that David. They need to pick up that Enzo. They need to try to pick up that Angela. They need to say, hey, look, we need to be BB strong because it's going to exist in other places. But in the regards of when it gets down to it, we cannot go 4-4 with the cookout, right? Like we cannot put ourselves in that situation.
Right.
So I feel like there's going to be a bondness of those four as Big Brother, but that's where we're going to see the favor tip to Survivor is they're not going to want to go 8.
Right. And then for like the ones we haven't talked about from Survivor yet, I'm curious how Dominic is going to do. He's somebody that doesn't look like he's really in the best shape for this compared to when he was on Survivor. I understand that like they were malnourished on Survivor, so that probably plays a part in it. But I don't know. I just I'm curious how Dominic's going to do in this.
There's so many people for us to follow right away. I think he might, surprisingly, he might be under the radar. I don't think we'll notice him for the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I think so too. And Danny also. Danny is somebody I think will do very well as well. Like he's very physically fit, of course, but he's just like no drama, really. What?
My wife told me to stay away from Shant or make up with Shant when he's like Danny's not playing the challenge. Danny's wife is playing the challenge right now. Right? Like that was so funny. I like Danny. I like him as a person.
He's fine. Yeah, like he's kind of like replacement level for me, but like he hasn't like pissed me off ever. So like I don't know. You can say it's fine. One person I think had a really standout first episode. Like we were talking about him a little bit earlier, but James was so good at politicking the whole house, and I love how I love when editors do this. I love when like we think it's gonna go one way, and then they show like a flashback to like how he like pulled strings and stuff, and then it cuts back to them like deciding to put in Celia and what's his face, Leo, right? Celia and Leo, I don't know, but no, I was just very impressed with James' first episode. Like he strategically got it done, but just like as like a character, I feel like he's gonna be really one to watch and root for.
Yes.
And same with Shannon. Shannon is just like such a joy. You know who she reminds me of from like older seasons of the challenge is Casey. The girl that's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not jumping off heights. And I'm like, girl, that would be me as well.
So what I want to say about James real quick. So I watched him in The Amazing Race because I don't know if they're married yet or still engaged, but Will Jardell, his husband, is from my hometown. And Keely Jardell owns a huge dance studio in Nederland and all of these things. And so what a lot of people don't know is these guys are very, very game. Like to see that doesn't surprise me. Will used to host his own YouTube live reality game called Big Sister. And he would do it in drag at times. And it was just a really good, well-run live game. And he had edited episodes on YouTube. So this guy knows how to game. But, just as impressed as I was with James, and this is why I kind of am like, I wish there was more Amazing Race representation. My kind of dark horse right now is Leo. Like, Leo was kind of really playing that social game up. He did decent in the challenge. Like James and Leo, if they really try to kind of stick Amazing Race strong, I'm not as big of a fan of, I don't even remember her name, Kayla. But Leo impressed me a lot, and I kind of dark horsed him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how well this goes. I'm also excited to see like how far they push these people because if it's like with this, I kind of expected like a watered down, almost like the Challenge All Stars level of like difficulty for the competitions and stuff because I don't know like how much like physically do you expect like Love Island and Big Brother people to really handle? But I gotta say, like they had to like do this like huge math problem, scaling down this building, and then if they were wrong, they had to go up all the flights of stairs and do it again. Which like if that happened to me, I would just say like let me just clock out. Like forget
I'm
it.
proud. I'm proud of Azza for pushing through, and I feel like she deserves to stay. I mean, I just saw Caitlin's um, comment. I mean, hopefully she can make it. I know we mentioned the other week that TJ said he was surprised at Azza. Azza was one of the people who surprised him. She shocked the hell out of me because the fact that she even made it back up, first off, and then they continued to still try and persevere in the elimination. Like she earned a little bit of respect from me. I hope she continues this. I hope the momentum stays up.
Yeah, I agree because like we didn't really see much like scrap from her like physically in Big Brother. Her and Derek F were definitely the more like just like lay back and let it happen out of the members of the cookout.
She was 120, he was 320, and they were both like, "I didn't train for this. I'm here for the clout."
Yeah. So like with all that being said, very happy with how she did. Very happy with how her and Kylan were able to come together for that elimination and do so well too.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far.
It was such a good episode, and it was so refreshing after what we watched in that Big Brother premiere. To watch for sure.
They set it up for us though. They were like, Julie had to sit down in a meeting. She was like, "Okay, so I guess this first episode is gonna be lame." They're like, "Yes, the first episode is gonna be whack because the first episode of the challenge has to be awesome."
It was just night and day. Like I don't understand like what they're doing. But I don't know. So I guess like anything else to talk about the first episode? This is all just kind of set up. So I feel like anytime it's like a season premiere of like anything that we recap, we get through it pretty quickly because there's not like too much like strategy yet.
The only thing I'll still say is another thing that really impressed me was just the production value as a whole, and especially in the aspect of I love how we didn't get intros, but the intros played out in the edit. Like the Shannon talking about the Big Brother stuff, the Amazing Race talking about their little representation, right? They let the story tell the story and not the production tell the story. And I just thought from an editing standpoint, from a production standpoint as a whole, it was very, very good to watch.
Well, that's what happens when you have an hour and a half. You know, you get like that, you get a lot more wiggle room to kind of get to know these people. In a very organic way, and like I'm also so glad that they didn't put them in like colored jerseys for like their representative like show that they're in, just because that would have been like a really huge like subconscious visual for anybody in power to like look at like how many blue jerseys there are for Big Brother, how many like orange jerseys there are for Survivor. Be like, I'm just gonna take out like the two like green jerseys for the Amazing Race over there, like that type of thing. But yeah, you can tell they put some money into this show. So
and they took the money from Big Brother.
Yes,
exactly what they did.
Exactly. They're like, you can have the porta potties, but that's it. We'll take
that's
everything
it.
else.
That's the most. Now we need to go get swap meet jewelry and have them put it on their face for 5 minutes.
and it seems like the reception is pretty good for it too. Like, do we think there's going to be a second season?
My only thing on that is they're setting up for this like tournament, right? And so that's the I hope so, but the tournament setup is the only thing that kind of makes me think that this is a one and done to set up for that tournament. Unless
Can you explain the tournament for viewers?
Yeah, so the tournament, and he said this in the episode itself, but basically what they're doing is doing this. They're doing a couple different countries, and they're taking all of the champions and doing a tournament of champions with the winners from these different seasons. The only issue that I kind of have there is the same issue we were just talking about with representation, is they're talking about from Challenge Proper bringing back like 6 people, right? I think Banana's name was mentioned. I think CT's name was mentioned. I think Wes's name, Killer Cam was in there. There's like 6 people. And so now you're only saying the champion, or is it anybody that's in the final? So there's still a lot of like vagueness as to what that looks like. And I think that's going to depend on kind of results. And I think production will have their hand in that a little bit. But I hope it's not, here's 6 challenge proper guys, here's 2 challenge USA guys, here's 2 challenge this country. I hope there's really a balance to play that in, and it doesn't become Johnny Bananas just proving that he still dominates this game.
Honestly, like I think that the most fair way to do this is have the 3 men and 3 women with the most amount of challenge wins come back for representation of like the challenge proper for this like big tournament thing that they're doing.
Yeah, I agree, but that's not how they're doing it, unfortunately. Because they did confirm that those 6 were in the Tournament of Champions. So
now I'm trying to find like who has won like the most, like not like monetary like money one, but like who has won like the most.
It's Bananas.
It's Bananas. It's CT, and it's probably either Wes or Darrell. I think it might be Darrell rather than Wes. Maybe question mark. And then for the girls, I'm not sure. Maybe Cara Maria. Or Evelyn, or Rachel Robinson, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I wish I could like Google this and. But
I'm surprised it's not an easy Google. Honestly, I thought it would be, and I'm not finding it.
Right. But Jackie, let me hear your thoughts on because Andrew hasn't seen the final for the Challenge All Stars 3. But Andrew, are you okay with us talking?
Y'all are good. I'll actually be right back. I'm going to take a quick break.
Okay. Jackie, what were your thoughts on the rest of the season for the Challenge All Stars 3?
So a good segue for me is I really do like that the Challenge USA has a currency. It has like a bankable thing, just like in the Challenge All-Stars where you had to collect the stars. I like that you have your own like individual bank account, similar to like the Challenge All-Star celebrity thing that they were doing where you could bank your own individual account. I like that. I just wanted to make sure I said that before I forget, because I will.
Yeah.
But as far as the finale was concerned, it was great. I thought it was a good final. Like, of course, we're going to have the food and the puking. I had to mute that because I actually got this time. I was like, whoa. I expected that Johnny was gonna win. I expected it. I actually was rooting for Nehemiah because the penultimate episode with Nehemiah and Derek was so good.
That was good.
At the TV show and like yelling in the house because it was so good. And I is this Nehemiah's first final of these All-Stars?
So I don't think
his first one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I was so excited for him to make it. I was just so excited. And I wanted him to win it. He had such a huge lead, such a huge advantage. And I'm not sure if he squandered it or if it was just that pairing. We're going to see that in the Challenge USA too. When you switch your partners for each challenge, for each competition, you really have to make sure that you're pulling your weight or that your partner is pulling your weight, because that loss of such a huge lead, it devastated me. And I kind of wanted to roll my eyes when Johnny won, because I was like, oh gosh, of course again. I want to be happy for her. Yay, POC, mom of however many, yay. But
yeah.
I'm
well,
over.
I will say, like, I think that Johnny, with these All-Star seasons, up to the final, I thought that she had been getting like a little too much credit, and I think that she kind of like rode MJ's coattails last season to get that win. But she really, like, I think this is her best season out of all 3. She physically proved herself. She socially proved herself. MJ left pretty early, so like that wasn't like she didn't have like a reliable partner. Like she did this like all on her own. So I was just very impressed to see her win a little more seriously as a competitor. I just like I can't shake the John A that we know from like the challenge proper that like really was not a good competitor and
Yeah.
really much like a
She was
layup.
such a child. Yeah, she was. But now she's a grown woman mother. Thank you, Doc, for Nehemiah did make it with the Palace, saving
Okay.
Palace last season
I see.
to the final. I didn't remember that, but yeah, she's a great competitor. She's a good game player, even from endurance, from like 20, 30 years ago. She's good at these games. And I think she just took a break for the challenge proper because she just wanted to be on TV.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see that competitive nature, but endurance Janae and the challenge all-stars Janae, they are in sync. They are aligned very well. And yeah, like you said, MJ was gone pretty early, and I do feel like he was a pretty good crutch for her.
Mm-hmm.
But also this does prove that he wasn't as much of a crutch as we thought. I'm just annoyed that she continues to win. I'm like, good job, but someone else. Like,
ready to see someone new. Yeah, and I think that's the problem with where All Stars is going. We don't even know if there's going to be a fourth season, but I think like it's just becoming a casting problem of like not finding enough new people. Like, and then we get like Latarian for like the fourth season. We get Kendall for like the fourth season. Like Derek, like just like all like the usuals.
Regulars?
I don't know. Yeah,
Regulars.
Yeah. Also, I did just find the like a list of like wins by like the numbers, not by the monetary amount. So the top 3 men are. Do we want to guess?
Bananas, CT, and West.
Bananas and CT, yes, but Darrell is.
I was muted, but I said Darrell.
Oh, okay, sorry. And then for the women, Evelyn has the most with 3, as well as Veronica. And then there's a lot of women that have 2 wins. So the third could be either Ashley Mitchell, definitely not going to be Camilla, Cara Maria, Jodie Weatherton, Paula, Rachel Robinson, Sarah Rice, Susie Meister, and Tori Hall. So lots of like women with 2.
But Tyler, what was the wins on the men? Jody Bananas had how many?
7.
And then CT had
5.
And Darrell had
4.
So look at that comparison. Like the women start at 3 or 4, and then you go to 7, 5. Like to see the difference in that. And part of what I think you'll notice is I feel like there's been a more revolving door around women than there has been around men. The men seem to be kind of the constant ones, kind of always coming back, and the women kind of change more often.
You know why that is? You got to have fresh meat for the men.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And also, like I feel like the men like have problematic behavior that's really easily excused by MTV. Where like as soon as like a woman says something wrong, like they really like blacklist them from competing on MTV again. Like CT literally like punched Davis in the face because he was gay, and people still like stand over CT and like forget that happened. You know what I mean? So not only that, but he like almost literally murdered Adam. Like that's like a whole nother separate thing. But yeah, CJ says even the top women get rotated out so frequently. But let's see what else from All Stars.
I'm proud of Wes. I don't mind his win. I think it was a good one. My winner pick for the entire season would have been Derek. So the way the end worked out, it's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I would have wanted Nehemiah, but Wes is a fine second.
I also did appreciate the acknowledgement of the flashback of like Wes beating Brad in a race, because like him beating Brad in the duel was like such a big win at the time, because like Wes was like really new to the challenge scene, very much so like an underdog on his own and everything like that. He didn't really help himself out by like alienating himself to the house, but he proved himself, and he went up against Brad and beat him in that race. So
yep. Wes did good this season. I'm sad that Nehemiah didn't win, but Wes did really, really good. I think the exact same thing that we were saying about Tyler, I think it's the same thing for Wes. It's not, the money didn't matter. It was the winning, the actual I won.
Yeah, exactly. Another person that really impressed me this season was Naya. I just feel like she has like really, you can tell she's really worked on herself and like her confidence and just like being at peace with stuff, instead of being like the Hurricane Naya that we all know and love the drama for. But I just really loved seeing this like just very like mature, like version of Naya that we haven't seen in like so many years. So I don't know. I was really rooting for her to win, but yeah, gotta be able to eat the brain, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to see her come back and try. I would love it.
I would too, and apparently she said that she was interested in doing the challenge proper again. But once she said that, like they brought her over to All Stars 3, maybe for that like Naya Jordan dynamic, which was really weird.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason, because if we stick with Andrew's definition of an all-star, Naya does not need to be on All-Stars. So I think you're right.
Neither does Kayla.
Neither does Kayla. Oh my God. I was so tired of Kayla by the middle part of this doggone season. I didn't want her to be on there at all. But by the time we got to the middle part of this season, we could have threw the whole show away because of Kayla. And then she cheated.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cheated. In the penultimate episode, no, I did not need Kayla in this show at all. Don't have her come back. Keep her at the other challenge.
I agree. And the other challenge could use Kayla. Like, let's be honest. Like, they need like, I'm so tired. Like, people on Twitter are calling it the Vacation Alliance because these people literally all vacation together. It's like Fessy, Josh Martinez, Casey, Anissa, Tori, like all of them are just so awful. So we need Kayla there.
Tyler, a quick question. Me and JB talked about this. I can't remember. I thought Allison was there, but I can't remember when we talked about this. But she felt that there was a really big real world Austin push, almost setting up for a possible homecoming.
I
feel
love
like
it.
that.
It would probably be very boring, but I would love it. Just because, like that. I know I'm not alone in saying, like, I feel like this is a good comparison. I feel like the Real World Austin is the Big Brother 16, if you will, in terms of like it brought like so many new people to watching it. Like that was so many people's like first season for like the next generation of the Real World, if that makes any sense. I think it's a pretty monumental season. Just for like, I remember like how iconic like Melinda and Danny were at the time as this like power couple. I really loved Rachel and Nehemiah arguing about the war in Iraq and stuff too. Johanna is just like such a wonderful person. Like I would be so happy to see her back on my TV screen, and I'm worried she would be the holdout. Lacey's pretty boring, but I don't know. I would love to see what Lacey's up to. I don't know. I love that she did like a random season of Battle of the Seasons. Her and Wes were like the first ones out that season, but it was cute to see her again. Yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on Real World Austin. I like that season a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
Anything else that we're thinking about for the Challenge USA or All Stars 3?
I can't wait for Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm
excited.
I think the Challenge All Stars is definitely, they're allowed to take a long break so we can focus on the Challenge USA.
Yeah.
We won't see them for a while because my whole focus is to see what happens with this USA bit. This is going to be great.
And there are spoilers out there. I have not like re-looked at those spoilers in a long time, so I don't know. I know who wins, but I don't know the boot order up until then. So like I have no idea what's going to happen next episode.
Tyler, you poor thing. How do you sleep at night? I don't understand.
Like I'm very spoiler friendly, and I'll tell you what. It's not about the destination for me. It's about the journey. And so like
I heard my husband say that.
like X and Y getting to the end and winning doesn't tell me like, wow, how did that happen? You know, and like how that happens is like still very interesting to me. Oh.
I have
go change.
Special
cameo.
Oh, it's cute.
Always welcome.
Yes. But I think that wraps it up for us. Any last thoughts, Andrew?
No, I mean, I think it's funny that we went through this whole thing and didn't talk about the eliminated pair once. I don't even think we said stay.
I'm glad Kylan and Azza stayed.
Yeah, I think we got the best result for the best scenario, but I truly think the mistake in the elimination came to partner picking. Like they were picked to go in because they didn't Like, if I'm any Love Island or Amazing Racer, I'm teaming with a Big Brother or a Survivor contestant.
Exactly.
And
That's
that's
how
where
you
the
stay safe, for
mistake
sure.
comes in, and that's why Selly and Giovanni are going home.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. And also, like, I know that like they were able to pick their partners for this first round, but just having that history of communication with each other that Kylan and Azat literally have like probably like 90 days of living together. That is such a powerful advantage in things like this, where you're having to communicate without even speaking, and like understanding each other. Like that's huge in these things. So anytime you're paired up with somebody from your season, I think that's a little extra push for them to win, no matter who they're up against.
I'm excited to see the next partners, and let's roll. I can't wait. It was so good.
Yep.
Tasha confirmed something for me. I think Survivor is going to dominate because they get to party and they get to eat good food and sleep in beds and stay working out on actual like workout equipment. Survivor is dominating.
That is a good point. Like, we haven't seen these people like at their peak physically in terms of like what they can do. So I don't know. We'll see. I can't say anything more. I don't want to give any hints either way.
All I will say is, if you call the goats of the season are Sarah and Tyson, so they're both standing from Survivor, and that's where I think it's gonna flow is Survivor's way.
I don't know if I can look at you the same way, Tyler. You know so much information. You're like the Ark of the Covenant.
Well, I like spoiled myself for like pretty much every season of the challenge, but I've really tried very hard to like stay neutral and not give any like hints or anything like that. So I hope I haven't given any hints tonight on what it is. But I'm just curious, you know, like it doesn't tell me how we got there, so it doesn't affect my ability to like hypothesize like what happens, like how does the person that goes out like 14th get there? How does the person that goes right before the finale, like why don't they make it, like that type of thing. So
you just see a list of names. That's all you're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're seeing a Brant steal, an accurate Brant steal.
It is interesting to see like how like the partners that they're paired up with though, because it is very random. So and I love that randomness, because like if like this is not spoiling anything, but say like Tyson gets paired up with like Shannon in an elimination, like that could be how like Tyson goes home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's this season is so fluid by design, which is so good. And so the opposite of what we have on Big Brother 24 so far. We'll talk about it on Tuesday, but like I'm so not happy with this damn stupid twist, because it has just like really made this whole first week play super conservatively, because they have no idea what's happening, and that's not a good TV show. Yeah,
neither do we.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it more on Tuesday. So on Tuesday we'll be back for our live feed update, and we have the wonderful Kim Bettina joining us for that. So can't wait to give the first proper update of all 16 of these little hamsters on Tuesday.
I've talked to her every day since the premiere started. She's got lots of information to share. I'll just say
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Always a good time to catch up with Kim. But and then we'll be back on Thursday to talk about the first eviction of the season. And then are we doing another challenge show?
We do want to do them on Fridays. I won't be here Friday. I'll be at camp still. So if y'all want to continue that on Friday or push it to, we'll discuss and let the viewers know.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. We might have to take next week off for the challenge, because I think I'm out of town for a wedding next weekend. But I don't know. We'll see. Either way. But,
if we're out of town, if we miss it, we'll like piggyback a 10-minute recap in the live feed show on Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your night, and enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.